Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about the Walking Dead Empires. I'm going to go over some of the key information that I noticed during the Walking Dead Empires Golden Crossbow Invitational livestream that Gala Games posted. So the Golden Crossbow Invitational is basically like a small private competition that Gala Games hosted on March 9, 2023, where they got together with some content creators as well as some Gala staff members who got to play the latest version of the Walking Dead Empires. And this is the same version that we will be able to publicly playtest on March 20th, 2023. So everybody will be able to get on and play the Walking Dead Empires for a period of 2 weeks. And they added a lot of new content and made the map so much bigger for this game. I'm really excited to actually play this game myself. So really in this video, I'm going to try to share the most important information that I can find from this live stream that they shared. Some information that will help you get a head start in the game, important things that you really need to know in order to, take full advantage of the playtest, get as far as you can. So let's get started. So in the live stream that Gala Games posted, we have Jason Brink Bitbender, Zach Peterson, and Brandon Godfrey playing the Walking Dead Empires together. One of the first things they do is select a character that they wish to play as. Now, you do not need any NFTs to play in the playtest coming on March 20th, 2023, but it has said you will be able to use any NFT heroes that you do own. And if you do use any of the NFT heroes that you do own, you will be able to keep the levels on them, and those levels won't actually register until after Jiri integration comes with these Walking Dead Empire NFTs. So that may take months, so you will probably have to hold on to your NFT, but eventually all the levels that you earned will be added to your NFT once they get integrated with Jiri, which is amazing. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. So after they select the character, they'll spawn somewhere random in the world, and the first thing they can do is go around collecting resources from the ground. Since they have no basic tools, they're going to need some resources in order to craft basic tools and basic weapons to defend themselves. So the best thing to gather first is look for sticks or branches, and then you'll be able to collect wood, and look for rocks in the ground, like pebbles basically, and you'll be able to gather stone. And I believe they also added some new items such as mushrooms, so you'll be able to gather mushrooms and whatnot from that, which I'm sure will come in handy if you're trying to create some food in order to give yourself buffs. So from here we can see that there are a lot of hotkeys on the screen. So we'll start at the bottom right here. At the bottom, you will see your health bar, which is that red bar, and to the right you'll see a white bar, that's the stamina bar. And you'll also have a lot of hotkeys under that. So there are 5 numbered hotkeys, numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are going to hold your equipment, such as your weapons, your tools, your consumables, such as medkit or food. You'll be quickly able to switch between 5 of them, so you can quickly use them in battle, which is really good. So you do want to keep in mind that you'll quickly be able to switch with up to 5 different items. Of course, you'll have a full inventory and you'll be able to pull that up using the I hotkey. So to the top right, you can see we also have some other hotkeys right here. I will pull up your inventory. B will pull up the building menu. C will pull up basic crafting. G will pull up the alliance. U, I believe, will pull up the mastery system, and L will pull up the leaderboard. We also have a map, and will pull up the map for the zone you are on. And in this playtest, there will be a total of 81 zones, which is a lot. It sounds like a lot. And when the full game eventually does release, they expect it to release by the end of the year. But when the full game does release, there will be 810 zones. So there's going to be a lot of zones. There's going to be so much to explore. It's going to be really cool. And back to the bottom right here, if you are holding a weapon, then you'll also be able to execute skills with that weapon, and you'll be able to execute that using Q, W, and E. As you can see right here, Q, W, and E. I'm going to search around until there we go. So right here, he has a bat, and you can see QWNE has skills. Now you can also left click on the walker. That's just going to do a basic attack. Now these skills are powerful, but they will consume your stamina. As you can see, he just recently used the skill and his stamina has been slightly used. Stamina will recover by itself over time. These skills are meant to be used just sparingly. You don't want to, they're not things you can constantly spam. So the skills will get you out of a sticky situation. They'll deal extra damage. They'll possibly stun enemies, and they may be used to kind of jump around and get away from enemies quicker, stuff like that. So it's very important that you understand how to use the skills. Each weapon will have different skills, so you really want to get informed with your skills when you're using a specific weapon. I can't tell you what kind of skills we would expect for each weapon, but I'll try to see if I can pause it right here and get that information. So one of the next important things that they share is the alliance system. So they'll either click up here or they can click the G, and they'll be able to pull up the alliance system, and what they're going to do is create their own alliance. So they pulled up the alliance menu and they clicked create a new alliance, and there's a lot of options we can see here. So alliances will be a very important part of the game. You want to either create an alliance or join an alliance and work together with other people. This is a game where you really need to cooperate in order to succeed. So when you create a new alliance, we can see that the first option is the alliance name, of course, whatever you want to name your alliance. The description for your alliance in case other people look at it and want to know more. It seems like you'll be able to choose an icon for your alliance. I don't know if it's a predetermined set amount of icons or if you could upload your own. Alliance message, perhaps that's the message that people see when they attempt to join your alliance, or maybe when you invite them to your alliance. To the right, we have alliance join status. Open means anybody can just apply for the alliance and they'll immediately join it. By request means the players must apply to the alliance and then they have to get accepted by one of the people in the alliance that has permission to accept them. HQ rarity requirement. Now this is a very interesting one. So everybody will start off with a common HQ unless they own a land deed, which then they'll immediately have a better HQ from the get-go. But everybody starts off with a common HQ, and as long as they continue to play the game and upgrade their HQ or their headquarters, they'll be able to upgrade to an uncommon and then eventually a rare and so on. So even though everybody starts with a common HQ, they'll eventually, with enough playtime, they'll be able to go all the way up to ancient HQ. So this requirement basically makes it so where you could set it to, say, rare HQ and make it to where only experienced players or players who started off with a rare HQ or have a better HQ than that can join your alliance. So it's a restriction. And this way you can kind of weed out lesser skilled players or players with less NFTs. So this is actually a very interesting requirement to mess with when setting up your alliance. Now, preferred online hours, also another interesting one. So when people make an alliance, they want to play with people who usually play the same time they do. They all want to be kind of in the same time zone. It makes the most sense. So you can either set it to that there's no time preference, just anybody can join. It doesn't matter what time zone you're on. Or you can set the hours that they're usually online. I'm not exactly sure what determines these hours, like what time zone this is. This might be like UTC time zone, but they'll be able to set the time zone that they are usually active, which is really cool that you'll be able to actually post that on your alliance. So that's something that people will keep in mind when they're searching for an alliance that they want to join. And preferred language, of course, there's going to be people all over the world playing this, speaking different languages. So any language means anybody can join, which might be inconvenient if you have an alliance with multiple different languages and you can't communicate with each other because they just can't all communicate with each other. They don't speak the same language. So I see most alliances will probably be in English, and there'll be a few alliances with a specific language, and they'll all have members in that alliance who speak the same language. But it's also a really cool setting to have. And I believe once they have everything set up, they'll be able to just click create an alliance at the bottom, and they'll just be able to create an alliance. Now, I don't know if it actually costs anything to create an alliance. By the looks of it, it says it will cost 0 renown. I believe that's what they're calling that icon right now, renown or points or whatever. So it appears like it'll be free to create an alliance. Now, this will be for the playtest. Once again, whenever the full game comes out, we don't know if it'll actually be free to create an alliance. It likely will not be free. It'll probably cost a certain amount of points, which these points or renown or whatever they decide to call it, that will be able to be gotten through playing the game, through completing daily missions, possibly as bonus rewards from any NFTs you do own. And I haven't mentioned this, but this game will obviously have play and earn once it comes out. They haven't actually really gone into details on how play and earn will work, but if you own NFTs such as land or crafting stations, that will actually allow you to receive Gala from playing this game, or from others playing this game and using your crafting station or completing actions in your land. So that's something to keep in mind. So they already created their alliance here, and within that same alliance menu, you can also search for other alliances. You'll be able to see all the settings that they put. You'll be able to adjust the permissions on your own alliance, manage the players, which probably means if you want to kick out a player or send them a message or something like that. So this is what the map looks like. Looks like you'll be able to click M to pull up the map. So I'm just going to pause right here. It's going to show you the entire zone that you're at. If you have an HQ or any allies in here, you'll also be able to see their location or your HQ location, which is really cool. It'll also say the zone number. So at the bottom right, you can see it's zone 30. Playtest will once again be 81 zones. And when the full game releases, 810 zones. So you can imagine just how big this game will be. And it seems like you can kind of zoom in and zoom out in the map. And I believe there's also another map that actually shows all zones instead of just the individual zone. So it'll give you an idea of where you need to go if you're trying to head somewhere. So right here, he opened up his inventory by clicking I, and you'll be able to see the inventory right here to the right. So those numbered hotkeys are actually at the top left of the inventory right here, numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the items that you actually want there are hot items that you want to switch onto really quickly, like tools, weapons, med kits, or food. Those are the items that you want in those 5 spots. Everything else is probably going to be just items that you're not really switching into quickly, such as resources. You know, like right here, he has wood, stone, and some kind of produce right there. So right here, he actually is planning on crafting a basic axe, and it's going to use up 5 stone and 5 wood. So you'll be able to craft a basic axe. He could also craft a basic pickaxe. And it looks like there's a lot of tools that can be crafted here, possibly weapons and equipment as well. So right here, Bitbender is actually going to place down a level 1 headquarters. It appears that he's missing 1 more stone, so he's going to go and collect that before he can actually place it. And it's going to let you place a headquarters anywhere where it hasn't been built or claimed, or somebody hasn't expanded their zone to take over that zone. As long as nobody has built or claimed that zone, like there's no red tiles appearing like there is right here, then you'll be able to place your headquarters down. Of course, you won't be able to place your headquarters down if it's interfering with the anything that's in the map, such as other buildings, like in-game buildings that aren't owned by anyone, or ponds, or big trees. You probably have to cut down the big trees first. I believe you can still place it even if there's small rocks or branches on the ground. You should still be able to place it. And it's going to, whenever you place down your headquarters, it's basically going to claim a small square zone around it. So right here, we actually see Bitbender facing off a zombie type called an Exploder. And this is a new zombie type that wasn't in the last playtest. This one's actually very interesting. So whenever you kill the Exploder, it shows you the radius that it's going to explode. And if you're still in that radius when it explodes, then you'll take a lot of damage and you'll actually catch fire, which will most likely kill you, which is what happened to Bitbender right here. And whenever Bitbender died, he actually did respawn back in the base that he placed previously. We also see them leveling up their masteries. So right here we have the captain leveling up his lumber mastery just by cutting down trees. There's going to be a lot of different masteries by the looks of it. So whenever you're using a Zord, you'll probably level up your melee combat mastery or your Zord mastery, and specifically. So when you're using a shotgun, you'll level up your shotgun mastery and so on. So there's going to be masteries for different tools or weapons or skills and whatnot. And I assume the more you level up your mastery, the better that you'll be doing that. So you'll probably gain perks. So right here, he leveled up blunt weapon mastery. So that's something that I did notice during this playtest a lot. They'll just constantly level up their mastery. And mastery is different from your actual level. I don't know the exact difference. I believe your actual level will actually increase all your stats, whereas mastery will just increase the specific stat that you're working with. Right here, we had Bitbender loot a car, something that you could do in the first playtest. So keep in mind, when you're wandering around, you will be able to loot crates or cars, and sometimes you'll be lucky and you'll find some good equipment. Most likely you will find some items that you will be able to scrap, which is a brand new feature that they're going to show off a little later in this video. So right here, there's also a new zombie type. This one is called the Igniter. It seems that this one has a chance to possibly apply fire to you, so you might catch on fire and take damage over time. And right here, they are showing off that one map that I talked about that shows all zones instead of just the zone you're on. And you'll be able to see the rarity of all zones. So right now they're in the common zone, and this is actually as easy as it gets, the common zone right here. Bitbender's facing another zombie type right there called the heavy zombie. That's doing a lot of damage to him, and it's actually stunning him. So you want to watch out for those heavy zombies. They appear to hurt you real bad and stun you. Right here, Captain once again is showing off the large zone. So those red squares are actually the battlegrounds. If you go to the battleground, PvP will be enabled and other players will be able to kill you. So you really want to be careful and don't go into the battlegrounds unless you're ready for it, unless you are ready for PvP. But the good thing about the battlegrounds, the reason people are going to want to go there is because there are some very rare resources that can be gotten there, and I'm pretty sure you're going to need those resources to craft some really nice weapons such as flamethrowers or really cool equipment and whatnot. So right here we have Bitbender just doing some basic building on his base. So you will have to put flooring down before you can put any walls next to it. Just keep that in mind. And you want to put down walls around your base in order to protect the flag. The flag is like the heart of your base. The walkers will be trying to aim for that. And if they do, if they deplete the health bar from your flag, then it'll take your entire base down. So really want to keep that in mind. You will be able to repair your flag as well as any walls or floors that you put in your base, but it is going to obviously cost resources, which then you'll have to go around and collect more resources. So right here, it appears that Bitbender is able to place a crafting bench in this HQ. This is probably just a generic crafting bench that anybody can use during the playtest. If you have crafting station NFTs, then you will be able to place down your crafting station NFTs during this playtest, and the higher the rarity, then the higher likelihood you have of crafting higher tier equipment, such as rare crafting stations being able to craft up to 3-star tier equipment. And of course, the higher tier your equipment, the more durability, the higher stats and whatnot. So right here, Bitbender is about to upgrade his HQ. And this HQ menu can actually be pulled up by clicking H as a hotkey. I don't believe it'll let you do this until you actually place down your headquarters. And in this headquarters menu, you'll be able to see the health of your headquarters. You'll be able to see the rarity assigned to it. It will have its own inventory, so you can place items here that you aren't able to carry in your own inventory. And it'll also allow others to place items into your headquarters. They won't be able to take any items from it. They'll just be able to place items there in case they want to give you something, but you're not actually there. They could just drop it off to your base. And it's going to show all the items required in order to upgrade the base or repair the base, because you do need to have the base fully repaired before you are allowed to upgrade it. And that's normal. The walkers are going to try to damage your base. So you're going to need to fully repair it and then upgrade it. And upgrading your base unlocks more items that you can place within the base. And eventually it will increase the rarity of your base. And the higher rarity that your base is, then that means you will be able to actually place down your headquarters in another rarity of the land. So since everybody starts off with a common rarity HQ, if they don't own any land deeds, then they'll have to go to a common land zone. They'll have to place their first headquarters there and level it up until they can get, say, to uncommon. Once they get to uncommon, they can actually pick up their headquarters, which will get rid of their build. Like, it will be unclaimed from my understanding. They won't actually be able to move everything they place down. So they'll leave behind whatever they built, and they can then go to an uncommon zone and actually place down their new uncommon headquarters in the uncommon zone. The uncommon zone will have stronger enemies than the common zone, so they should probably be prepared before doing that. If you do that, you want to have better equipment, better weapons, better armor, maybe some medkits and some food to hold out better. And you probably want to be leveled up even more, level up your masteries before doing that. But yeah, that's one of the goals of the game, to upgrade your base, upgrade its rarity, and then move on to a stronger zone where you'll be able to collect more resources and level up even further. And possibly you'll need to actually go to these areas to complete some of the missions that you'll unlock in the future. One thing they did mention is whenever you upgrade your base, you'll unlock new missions. And these missions seem to be like daily missions. You'll be able to complete them every day, and they will give you a certain amount of points or renown, or whatever they decide to call them. And with these points, it will probably determine what your share of play and earn will be, or perhaps you'll be able to unlock some kind of other benefits with this. So that is one important thing. So right here, I'm going to pause it. To the left, you can see the missions. Bitbender has 3 missions right here: build 7 walls, build 1 door, craft bandage. So these are probably the basic missions. Everybody will have these basic missions that they can follow to learn the game, get something to do. But there will also be some additional daily missions that players can complete for renown. But right here, we have Bitbender once again facing off against the Heavy Walker. And you can actually see when the Heavy Walker is about to use its skill. It's going to do heavy damage. It's going to stun you. If you're stunned, you're probably dead if you have nobody else to protect you to actually deal with this Heavy Walker. So he ends up dying once again. So right here, it's actually going to talk about scrapping. So when you open your inventory, you'll be able to switch between crafting and scrapping. And scrapping will show you the items that you've collected and are able to be scrapped into actual resources. So right here, it says he has the smartphone, and that'll be able to be scrapped, and he'll be able to collect some items that it's going to show in a moment. It appears that all these items have a crafting station assigned to them. So the smartphone and the toaster seem to imply that you're going to need a smithy in order to scrap them. Now, I believe that this is something that will be required when the actual full game releases, but in the playtest, this might not actually be a requirement. I'm not exactly sure, because they're just using the basic crafting bench from their HQ in order to accomplish this. So right here, the smartphone's going to give them 2 of those pieces, and then 1 of those other pieces. I don't actually know the names. And right here, scrapping the raincoat will give them 1 of those pieces and 2 of these pieces. Cloth, I'm assuming. And they'll be able, fabric right there. They'll be able to use these resources in order to craft other equipment, such as actual armor. So it seems like there's going to be a lot of different things that can be collected in scrap, such as motor oil and cans of food, canned peaches. So that's really cool that it's going to be another way to actually get resources just by scrapping. And with these scrapped equipments, they'll be able to make other stuff, such as a staff right here. Staff requires 5 fabric and 20 wood. So that's really cool. So whenever you want to go to another zone, you'll just go to the edge of the map in the zone you're in. Go to this area that looks like yellow with a bunch of arrows, and it's going to tell you which zone you are attempting to go into. And you're just going to have to wait 5 seconds, and then you'll get a loading screen. So that loading screen may take a couple of seconds. If you have a slow PC, it may actually take up to a minute. That's something I noticed when I was playing the first playtest. I don't know if that's improved, but once that goes through, you'll be in a new zone. So now they are in zone 31 instead of zone 30. So they're in a brand new place. There's more resources to collect and a different layout. And you'll want to be going to different places, different zones to collect more resources. Because remember, there's going to be a lot of people around the world collecting these resources. And resources will respawn, but it does take time. So you're better off actually going somewhere else, trying to find more resources. So right here, Captain actually looted a dirty shirt from one of the walkers. So it appears like the walkers actually do drop equipment on occasion. There was actually a horde of walkers together, so that's why he died. And that is something that can happen. They have said that the walkers like to get together in hordes, and it's really bad. You don't want to go, if you're by yourself, you don't want to face off against the horde. So that's why you really need to cooperate with your alliance members. You really can't be doing this by yourself. It's going to be significantly hard. This is a cooperative game. So one interesting thing I noticed here is that he's looting as normal. He looted that orange crate, but it didn't let him loot the duffel bag because there was walkers nearby, and it actually let him know. So that's really cool that they let you know if there's walkers nearby. That way you don't get completely ambushed while you're looting, and it makes you have to actually deal with them before you're able to loot. So you can't just kind of run to a place and loot and get out of there real quick unless you actually deal with the walkers. So right here, Captain went to his HQ, he went to the crafting station, and he crafted some ammo. He actually gained some ammo crafting mastery because of it. So you will be able to craft ammunition for your guns, and the higher the mastery, I assume the possibility of maybe getting more ammo crafted, or maybe it does more damage or something like that. Right here, Bitbender killed an exploder and looted his wallet, which is pretty cool. I'm assuming he'll be able to scrap that for some leather or fabric. So right here, Bitbender is actually crafting some bandages. It looks like bandages cost 2 fabric, so that's good to keep in mind. And I'm pretty sure bandages are used to actually heal you. So right here, Captain is upgrading his base. So I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but when upgrading your base, it actually starts a survival wave. So you will have to survive for a set amount of time. During that time, a lot of walkers are going to be swarming your base. So this is really something you do not want to do by yourself. You really need help when doing this. Maybe not for the first 2 levels of your HQ, but after that, yeah, it gets significantly hard. So you really need help, or you really need very powerful equipment, such as maybe assault rifles or some kind of Zord that can instantly kill these zombies very quickly. So you're gonna want to really prepare yourself for some of these higher levels. And of course, like I said before, you do want to upgrade your HQ so you can get a higher rarity and unlock new equipment, new things that you can place within the base. So right here, Bitbender actually shows off the upgrades menu. So he clicks the UI hotkey in order to open this upgrades menu. You could also open it from the top right. But the upgrades menu shows the skill tree, talents, and masteries. So masteries were the things that we were seeing all the time, such as blunt weapon mastery, close combat mastery, handgun, MO, craft mastery, all that stuff. So there's going to be a ton of different masteries. What he's showing right here is the skill tree. So I'm not exactly sure how this works, but it looks like he has 5 skill points available. I'm not sure how skill points are gained. Perhaps they're gained just from your leveling up your base level. Then maybe with each level you'll gain a skill point. And you'll be able to apply these skill points to these skills in order to give you extra benefits. So it has been said that each character will have 2 skill trees. He is playing as Sherm, and it looks like Sherm has Sentinel skills and Survivalist skills. So he'll be able to upgrade both of those branches in whichever order he wants to. He'll just have to start from that first upgrade before he unlocks all the other ones. So at the bottom, it also says reset points. So perhaps it's a system where you can apply your points to whatever you want to upgrade. And if you're not happy with the skills you selected, you'll just be able to reset them. Maybe with no cost, or maybe there will be a cost when the full game comes out. But I would assume for the playtest, there's probably no penalty. So it'll be a nice opportunity to just mess around. And right here, he was under a falling tree. So cutting down a tree, and if the tree falls on you, actually that will not deal any damage. I believe they mentioned that they might make it to where it does deal damage. I don't know if they'll actually do that, but as far as this playtest goes, if a tree lands on you, it won't do any damage to you. But essentially, that was all the useful information I was able to gather from the live stream that they shared. After that, they're basically just going around killing walkers, leveling up their main level, and leveling up their masteries. So hopefully you found some of this information that I shared and went through very informative. Hopefully it's going to help you out in the next Walking Dead Empires playtest that goes live on March 20th, 2023. This video, I just went over as much as I could out of this live stream right here. Hopefully it was informative. I know this video is pretty long, but if you really care about the Walking Dead Empires, then you're probably thankful that you watched this video and learned some new stuff. So really, that's all I have. I'm looking forward to this game. I myself am going to be live streaming it every day, trying to level up all my heroes as much as possible. So appreciate your support. Thank you for watching.